Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Fain. I'm your senior judge for this part of the program. I am a retired securities lawyer. I will now ask the other judges to introduce themselves similarly. Tony?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tony Lee Jimenez. I am the co-founder with my sister of a new makeup company called Chica Beauty. We were recently awarded top 5 CEO by Los Angeles Business Journal. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's just an honor to be here. I'm excited to hear what everyone has to say. So thank you for having me.
Jennifer?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer West. I work in brand management at the wonderful company here in Los Angeles. Thank you for having me.
And Monica?
Good morning. My name is Monica Pleasant. I'm an alumni of Loyola Marymount University. I am an HR director at Medtronic, based out of the Irvine location.
Okay, would the contestants introduce themselves, please?
My name is Summer McGrogan, and I'm the solutions engineer for our team project at a Nutrient Consulting, and I'm a data science major at my school.
My name is Caroline Chavis. I'm the environmental analyst at Nutrient Consulting, and I'm an entrepreneurship major with a minor in studio arts at my college.
Hello, my name is Hope Sedicuro. I am the ethics analyst for our company, and I also study entrepreneurship at our college.
Hi, my name is Anastasia Zainulina. I'm the legal director of our consulting company, and I am a management major and public relations minor at my school.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Van Hemert. I am the financial analyst over at Nutrient Consulting, and I study information systems and business analytics at my university.
Might be a little difficult for me to get a hold of this group since our last group only had 2 contestants. It was a lot easier. In this competition, you are taking on a fictional business identity and assigning a fictional business identity to your judges. You will have 25 minutes to describe the legal, financial, and ethical dimensions of the problem and to recommend a solution that passes muster on all 3 counts. During this time, you will not be interrupted. When you are finished, the judges may ask you questions. If the judges don't have any questions, do not be dismayed or disappointed by that, because it may mean that you have done such a good job, there are no questions to ask you. After the questions, the judges will try to give you some feedback, which is intended to be an instructive and educational and sometimes insulting experience for you, but don't take that personally either. Okay, please proceed.
Thank you, Amazon Board of Directors, for being here today. We are a Nutrient Consulting, and we're very excited to be with you and collaborate on how to improve Amazon's current packaging. How many of you have ordered multiple different things from Amazon and ended up with just way too much packaging waste by the end of the week? I know I have, and this has only been exacerbated by the lockdown in my state. And this is the issue that we will be addressing in our presentation today. We are a Nutrient Consulting, and my name is Summer McGrogan. I'm the solutions engineer.
My name is Caroline Chavis, and I'm the environmental analyst.
My name is Hope Sedicuro, and I'm the ethics analyst.
My name is Anastasia Zainulina, and I'm the legal director.
My name is Sebastian Van Hemert, and I am the financial analyst.
We are here to talk about our recommended solution for biodegradable packaging for Amazon today. First, we're going to go over Amazon's mission statement and values so we can ensure our solution is aligned with both moving forward. Amazon's mission statement says, "We aim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. Our mission is to continually raise the bar of the customer experience by using the internet and technology to help consumers find, discover, and buy anything, and empower businesses and content creators to maximize their success." Some of Amazon's key values are having the highest standards, hiring the best, having a bias for action, thinking big, being obsessed with their customers, and taking ownership. I want to start by saying that we know Amazon cares about the environment and our Earth as a whole. We have seen this from the multiple years of cutting waste and eliminating excess energy usage, on top of the fact that Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon, has created a multi-billion-dollar fund dedicated to addressing the issue of our climate crisis. Currently, to attempt to decrease Amazon's footprint on the environment, Amazon is purchasing electric delivery vehicles, decreasing the size of packages to more directly fit shipped items, increasing the amount of recycled content used within their manufacturing process. Amazon has also created a new padded envelope that is made completely out of recyclable material. Amazon is also making packages weigh less to reduce the amount of carbon emitted while transporting them, and all packaging is 100% recyclable. Since 2015, there has been a 33% reduction in outbound packaging by weight. 1 million tons of packaging have been eliminated from the life cycle process, and 2 million products qualify for Amazon's FFP programs. This FFP stands for frustration-free packaging, and it means that the packaging in it is recyclable and comes without excess packaging materials such as hard plastics, clamshell casings, and plastic binding or wires. Amazon has made a lot of environmental progress, paved ways for massive corporations, but we still have a lot of work to do. The image you see before you is the problem we are trying to solve. As you can see, there's a lot of plastic and cardboard used to package a very small item. This generates tons of waste and is a waste of resources, especially if it's practiced by Amazon in the long term.
So I'm going to be speaking with you about the 3 types of packaging. There is primary packaging, secondary packaging, and transit packaging, which also is known as tertiary packaging. So primary packaging is known for creating the sales unit. So for example, this would be the green peas and the sales unit would be the can, and it is in direct contact with the good. Secondary packaging, which is known as the collection packaging and is the most commonly used packaging, it collects all the things and is used to carry the quantity of the primary packaged goods. So in this visual, we see the cans being put in the cardboard box. And tertiary packaging, which is also known as transit packaging, is used to assist freight packaging of large quantities of goods. And it's not just boxes, but it could include wood pallets and plastic shrink wrap. And throughout this presentation, we'll be using these 3 words, and it's really important to know the difference between recycled packaging, recyclable packaging, and biodegradable packaging. Recyclable packaging is packaging that can be reused again or made into another product of the same material. Recycled packaging is packaging that has been previously used and is being reused in a new format. Think of it as like a new life. And biodegradable packaging is packaging that can break down within the environment within 1 year without excess environmental manipulation, which is what we're really aiming towards. What are the effects of packaging? There's energy consumption, air pollution, and paper impacts. Energy consumption is exerted when first converting the basic raw materials, such as trees, into paper. This paper, when formed in cardboard boxes, is known as flute. Secondly, from converting the flute into the actual packaging. So converting the flute to the actual cardboard box. That is a massive source of energy that is being used. Secondly, air pollution. This is the main source of pollution in the manufacturing process, the air pollution. The process releases emissions such as vinyl chloride, CFCs, anthropogenic compounds, and even hexane. And that's just to name a few. And those are all going into our environment. And lastly, paper impacts. They go into landfills and it saturates the waters and toxins in the paper. So production of paper products is dominated by sulfate mass, and in some countries, chlorine-based bleached, resulting in wastewater strained with oxygen-consuming pollutants and chloroorganics. So here's a photo, and you can see the cardboard and the plastics are not able to properly break down in a landfill. Let's also take in consideration that this is a landfill and that most of the time the things that we recycle don't actually end up getting recycled. But in this landfill, toxic gases and chemicals are being released into the atmosphere due to those plastics in the cardboard. So we're here to talk about the solution, what we recommend. How is it going to work legally? What it looks like financially, and is it even ethical? Next to you, Summer.
While Amazon has made amazing strides for corporations and the environment, we think if you apply our advised solution, we can take Amazon to the next level. Part 1 of our 3-part solution for Amazon packaging is new boxes. Currently, boxes used have an impact on the environment that Caroline mentioned earlier. These boxes are made of corrugated cardboard. They are made completely of new material, so they're made of trees. And while they're recyclable, they are not being reused by Amazon as we would like. Our new proposed boxes would be made of recycled cardboard, so they would have previously been cardboard and they're a different version of cardboard again. And on top of that, they would be sewn with a safe fertilizer into the lining of the boxes. By safe fertilizer, sorry, my hands are there. We mean that it's non-toxic to humans, animals, and plants. And fertilizer will not be released from these boxes until the box is cut or torn open. The purpose of the fertilizer is to allow the box to easier biodegrade within someone's compost bin or garden. On top of that, biodegradable ink will be used to make Amazon's little brand logo, and this will also be able to break down into the environment. The second part of our proposed solution is to change the tape that Amazon currently uses to tape packing labels onto boxes. Currently, the tape that is used is plastic and shown on your left here. On our right, the tape looks exactly the same, equally as clear, equally as strong, but is made of cellophane with a natural rubber adhesive that is completely biodegradable as well and will break down in the environment to allow our consumers easier decomposition of their products within their compost bin if they choose to do that, or in the landfill if they choose to just throw their box away. Finally, the third part of Amazon's packaging that we would like to change is what is actually padding the products within it. So on your left, you can see a current Amazon box. I actually got this the other day. It's full of plastic. It takes quite a few minutes to pop all of those little bubbles and they go straight into the landfill. There's no other option for me to get rid of this plastic trash. For Amazon in the next couple years, we would like Amazon to use their just shredded paper scraps, essentially, that are all connected together based on a specific way of shredding paper to allow for padding for materials, but it also allows people to just pick up all their padding from their items and just put it directly in their recycle bin to allow for easier consumer breakdown of all of their box products. So there's no big stack of plastic. We don't have to pop anything with the paper. It's just pick it up out of your box and put it in your recycle bin. So this is a necessary solution to decrease Amazon's environmental impact on the planet, and it will improve customer satisfaction. In 2019, Amazon shipped over 7 billion packages. This 465 billion pounds of plastic waste were produced as a result. This is in the form of air pillows, bubble wrap, and other plastic packaging items. Oceana estimated that up to 22.44 million pounds of Amazon's plastic packaging waste entered and polluted the world's freshwater and marine ecosystems in 2019. This is the equivalent of dumping a delivery van payload of plastic in the ocean every 70 minutes for a year. On top of that, over 1 billion trees are estimated to have been required to make the amount of cardboard required for packaging. If Amazon chooses our biodegradable solution, they can eliminate all of this waste from their life cycle. Customer satisfaction is also believed to increase because over 735,000 people have signed a change.org petition to have Amazon offer a plastic-free shipping option. This number increases by minutes of the day. On top of that, Oceana surveyed more than 5,000 Amazon customers in the US, Canada, and the UK in 2020 and found a vast majority were concerned about the plastics pollution and its impact on the environment. Our biodegradable solution will also allow less waste for consumers to deal with. As I mentioned earlier, just burying your trash or putting it in the recycled bin, but it's very easy to break down in comparison to Amazon's current packaging. This will also allow consumers to use it to improve their gardens without worry of animal or soil endangerment.
So is our solution workable legally? There are 3 legal aspects that our solution requires. Firstly, it is proper labeling. It is required to make it easy for consumers, composters, and others to identify compostable products and packaging. For a marketer claiming that their product and packaging is biodegradable, they should have competent and reliable scientific evidence that the material is going to break down in a safe and timely manner in a proper composting facility or a compost pile or device at home. And also, to avoid deception about the limited availability of composting facilities, marketers should state if such facilities are available to a substantial majority of consumers where the item is sold or not. Secondly, required treatment. All wastes have to be treated to remove practically all suspended solids or liquids or receive additional treatment if necessary. And for certain types of biodegradable packaging, it is better to order them frequently rather than in bulk to avoid those materials going bad or biodegrade before actually being used. And thirdly, certifications and seals of approval. The Federal Trade Commission states that it is deceptive to misrepresent a package or claim that the certification was approved by an independent third party. It also states that to biodegrade in a timely manner means to completely break down within 1 year of entering the solid waste stream. The guidelines say that the product or packaging is considered to be non-toxic to both humans and to the environment including pets and domestic animals. And last but not least, a product or package should be recyclable to a substantial majority of consumers and communities, which is defined to be at least 60%. There are currently no packaging waste regulations in the United States. However, in Europe, such laws are already implemented. And I think it is important for the American companies like us, Amazon, to be able to understand those laws and be prepared when those laws are implemented in our country in the future, or be the reason those regulations are implemented for the betterment of our environment. For example, REACH is a regulation in the European Union that manages certain materials and chemicals such as heavy metal, chemicals, and pollutants within the items that are sold in the European Union. It also includes packaging materials such as paper, cardboard, metal cans, and plastic bottles. In the European Union, if the packaging material contains excessive amounts of SVHC, which stands for substance of very high concern, it is not legal to be imported or sold in the EU common market. Heavy fines can be applied and forced recalls. There is no uniform labeling standard for all packaging materials and types. Instead, there are specific labeling requirements depending on the packaging and the products inside the package. Mobius slope is the symbol that I thought was relevant to our proposal because it indicates that the packaging can be recycled. And sometimes on the packaging material itself, they show the percentage of the packaging that can be manufactured from recycled materials. The other label is a widely recycled label. It means that the packaging is recycled by 75% or more of local authorities across the United Kingdom. This symbol often comes with the instructions above it, like rinse lid on, flatten cap on, or remove sleeve. I believe a similar label can be very helpful for our packaging solution that we're proposing because there are special conditions that have to be implemented in order to biodegrade properly.
Thank you, Anastasia. Now we will conduct a financial analysis of our solution in order to see if our proposal is feasible or not. First, we will be looking at how much Amazon currently spends on secondary packaging. Then, we will be introducing the new supplier we have in mind. After that, we will discuss the cost to switch and its potential impact on Amazon's expenses. And last, we will determine our plan's feasibility. It's also important to note out that our solution would only apply to shipments fulfilled by Amazon, not those carried out by third-party sellers. Amazon spends roughly $23.36 million on boxes each year. We calculated this number by multiplying the 584 million shipments that Amazon fulfills on a yearly basis times the average cost of 4 cents per box. In 2019, the cost of packaging made up 0.058% of Amazon's total shipping costs. According to the graph, shipping costs were at about 40 billion that year. We have been working closely with a new potential supplier called Eco-Enclose to come up with a new aggregate cost of the packaging if we choose to conduct high volume business with them. Here's a detailed list of what Eco-Enclose will be supplying us with. They will be able to provide us with 100% recycled, recyclable, and biodegradable custom shipping boxes in all styles, sizes, and configurations. Also, they offer 100% recycled and recyclable shipping labels, as well as their revolutionary black algae ink, which uses algae cells for pigments, making it safer and cleaner to work with, and more compatible with industry recycling and composting processes. Eco-Enclose will not be able to provide us with a detailed quote until the board of directors agrees to proceed with the plan. But for now, we've been able to project that it will cost Amazon twice as much as what they're currently spending on packaging if they decide to conduct business with them. Working with Eco-Enclose will bump Amazon's annual packaging costs up to $46.72 million. This comes out to an 100% increase in packaging costs. Nonetheless, we firmly believe that our solution is affordable considering Amazon's record 21.33 billion net income reported in 2020. It's a worthy investment because, as stated earlier, packaging makes up only a tiny percentage of Amazon's shipping costs and solely 0.22% of their net income. With this investment, we will be able to set the example for the rest of the e-commerce industry. With all that said, switching over to more sustainable packaging is financially feasible and beneficial, and this is one of the reasons for which we firmly believe that you should consider our solution.
Thank you, Sebastian. Now, is our solution ethical? I've highlighted the values that we feel our solution attacks. If we value big thinkers, then it is essential for us to step back and look at the big picture, the overall health of our Earth. Also, if we hold ourselves to the highest standard, our packaging process should be no exception. We will elevate the quality of the company by considering both personal as well as ethical, as well as environmental ethics. Additionally, Jeff Bezos planned to make a personal investment of $10 billion into the Bezos Earth Fund by 2030 shows that even at a senior level, this issue is important. Environmental ethics builds on a corporate understanding of bringing human values, moral principle, and improved conversations within companies. Our solution is ethical because we address the three components of environmental ethics. The Earth and its creatures have moral status. By switching to biodegradable packaging, we are now acknowledging that both the Earth and human beings are worthy of ethical concern. This aligns with our value of customer obsession and earning the trust of our consumers. The Earth and its creatures have intrinsic value, means that simply by just existing, everything has value. So our value of delivery results should include not only the item that is being delivered, but also the way that the package is delivered. This also touches on our value of taking ownership for the company's decisions. And lastly, the idea of the ecosystem is the concept that human beings should consider other forms of life and the environment when deciding whether something is environmentally ethical, which aligns with our value to be curious and learn, as well as bias for action. As you can see, a lot of these environmental ethics theories can be applied to the values that we want to uphold in this company. This correlates with the overall ethical concept of the common good, which means that the good of each person is inseparable from the good of all persons. Environmental ethics and the concept of moral status invite us to look beyond only human goods. Rather, they encourage us to consider that the good includes not only those environmental, they encourage us to consider that the common good includes human and non-human goods, that the common good includes not only those environmental conditions that enhance the fulfillment of men and women's lives, but the common good that also includes the well-being of the natural world for its own sake. Environmental responsibility is necessary because Earth is our home and we need to take care of it. That's why our solution to switch to biodegradable packaging will elevate customer and employee fulfillment in life.
So, in conclusion, even though we're on the right track to reducing emissions through packaging, we're not making effective enough moves in the short amount of time we have to reduce emissions. Climate change is a time-sensitive issue that cannot wait until 2030 when we plan to be net zero carbon. We must make effective moves today to stop irreversible damage that will cause the future. The environmental impact of the packaging process now has extreme waste. And with your high success rate, there's little reason that we should be waiting to change packaging strategy now. While financial costs are high for environmentally friendly packaging, environmental and social impacts have the ability to extremely improve our customer perception and reduce the impact on the environment greatly. We believe this outweighs all the costs you incur based on your mission statement and the company values. Thank you.
Okay, I take it by your silence that concludes your presentation. We now move to the question portion of the program, and I am asked as senior judge to ask the first question. So I will, and then I'll follow on with the other judges. Any one of you can answer this question if you're able, not necessarily the person who presented this section, or more than one of you can answer this question. You had a slide up that said, the Earth has moral status. What do you mean by that?
So the idea of moral status is that you acknowledge both that the Earth and the creatures that live on it are worthy of ethical concern, so that just because we're humans, we shouldn't just care about human related ethical issues like personal ethics, but we should also tie the environmental ethics into our decisions as a company.
Anybody else want to take a swing at that one? Or you going to rest on that?
I mean, I think Hope is really just explaining about how, as humans, like, it's so important, like, we have, like, what's ethical as a human, like, is, human trafficking okay? Like, obviously not, like, all these things, but we have to look outside of ourselves and look at what we as humans are doing and what we, like, where we live. We live on like planet Earth, and like it's part of our role to make sure that we're protecting it, because I don't see someone called Earth saying like, hey, help me, like I'm a reason, like, I think it's just being aware as humans that we need to do our part in having this responsibility and taking care of the place we live in.
Anybody else?
Yeah, so in sum, it just means that everything on Earth, all its creatures, everything that is alive and not alive, deserves to have a moral status when we make our decisions. Humans aren't the only thing important, neither are animals, so are plants, so are our waterways. That is.
All right, so what you've said in response to my question is that I shouldn't read that slide disjunctively, that Earth doesn't have any standing, but all the things on it do. Is that a fair summary?
Earth is everything on it together. Like, it's an inanimate object, but it's also, when we refer to it, we mean everything on it as well as Earth itself.
All right, I can go with that. Tony, do you have any questions?
Hi, yeah. So first off, I just want to say, well, great job, especially as Amazon board members, I think it is important that we set the standard. I mean, we are, global, everyone knows Amazon. So I think it is important that we are held accountable for what we're doing with the environment, especially with ethics and the packaging. But I did have a couple of questions. So I know you said you think 9 years is too far away. I mean, you really think that's too far away that we want to be zero emission or net carbon by then? Just, you think 9 years is too far? Is that correct?
Yeah, and specifically 9 years is too far to let packaging continue to stay the way it is. Amazon currently doesn't have any big breakthrough turning around packaging solutions, and that is a big factor in Amazon's emissions. So we're saying that packaging needs to be changed now to help reduce their emissions and to reduce their impact on the planet.
And then I know you said eco enclosed that, but they didn't give us a quote, right? Because we haven't said yes, so we don't know that final number, which obviously would affect any decision as a business if it's cost effective too, because I know customer service is number one for Amazon too. But like, again, any business, the cost will be trickled down to the customer, and people go to Amazon for the cost. I mean, they want low cost. So how do you feel that effect trickling down onto the customer's cost is this a good solution to keep customers coming back to Amazon too?
So thank you for your question. So taking into account Amazon's, as I stated in my presentation, record 21 point, I think it was, 21.33 billion net income, there will only be a marginal incremental cost to consumers in terms of packaging on each product they purchase. Yes.
The consumer is also the one that's benefiting from this because they're also they live on Earth too. They want to have fresher air and better resources. So it's not just an investment in Amazon as a company, but it's also the consumer's investment in themselves.
Okay, let's go to Jennifer.
Thank you all for the presentation. I want to start by following up on Tony's question about price. While I know 23 million in increased cost of goods for packaging doesn't sound like a lot as compared to the revenue we bring in, as you know, Amazon's cost of doing business is also very high and our margins are very low. So just to confirm, your suggestion to make up that 23 million in increased costs is to increase price to the end consumer. Is that correct?
No, that would only count for the purchase of our cost in doing business with Eco Enclosed, but we will be, our proposal is for Amazon to be conducting the majority of the investment.
Got it. So you're saying we should just eat the increased investment and not pass that down to our consumer?
Correct.
Okay, and have you thought through any other places in which we could make up that increased investment so that we ensure we're maintaining our very thin profit margin?
So would part of your question include conducting business, receiving funding from either governmental institutions or NGOs, nonprofits? Sure,
I guess I'm trying to understand, while I would love to do this at Amazon for the ethical reasons you said, obviously it's a business and we have to maintain a bottom line. So if we were to increase our packaging cost of goods by 2 times the amount we're spending right now, have you thought through any ways in which we could recoup any of that costs, either from our consumer or other parts of the business?
So as of right now, we have not thought of any governmental institutions to be able to receive funding from, but we hope that that will be a possibility once the board of directors decides to follow through with the plan.
Okay.
Also, on top of what Sebastian said, we expected an increase in customer sales and an increase in the amount of customers that we do have, because Amazon will be the first large company to make this giant move to have essentially almost no impact packaging that can make the consumer feel completely guilt-free, and there will be no need for them to leave their house and go to the store if they do not want to, because Amazon will provide all these services for them in the form of eco-friendly packaging.
Got it. Great. And if you don't mind, I just have one additional follow-up question. I know right now with a lot of legislative changes happening across the country, there's a lot of pressure on companies like ours to start to implement all sorts of more sustainable packaging, such as recycled plastic content in bottled water, for example. Have you looked into, or do you foresee any supply chain issues in actually being able to source the amount of packaging Amazon needs? I think your slide had mentioned 500 million boxes that Amazon is currently using annually. Does Econ Close or other manufacturers have the capability to produce the amount that we need?
So I think going off of your question, if we were to go to that company and be like, hey, we want to, get all our boxes from you, they're going to be like, give us a couple months, right? Like, we need to scale our business. And so I think an opportunity for Amazon would to maybe even invest in a company such as Encore and help them grow exponentially so that this is a more feasible idea. Like I said, if, maybe this is even a possibility for Amazon to get into sustainable packaging and take over that market. If they're going to do it right, if they're going to put in the money, to say, hey, Encore, like we like your solution, we like your ideas, you don't have the funds, we do, let's partner together. And it would be a strategic partnership that would benefit Amazon in the long run.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Monica, we have, after the questions, we have the feedback period. It's your turn for the questions, and when you're done with whatever your questions are, would you please just transition seamlessly into whatever your feedback is, and then we'll go back down the chain with everybody else's feedback. Okay?
All right. I don't have any other questions. Both Tony and Jennifer asked questions that I had. So great job, team, on the excellent presentation. So Tom, you're suggesting I go into the feedback now?
Feedback, please.
All right. And would you like me to break it down by each segment of, financial, ethical,
any way
or just a high level?
This is the teaching part of the program. So whatever you can do to enhance the candidate's understanding of the problems, that would be helpful.
Well, I was very pleased with all the thought, research that had been done by this team to provide us with a very excellent case, in my opinion, of improvement that can be made from Amazon. I am a very data-driven person, and that helps me with making decisions. So there were pieces of information that would help me even more, very similar to what Jennifer asked around the eco enclose. Like, who are their current customer bases? And what volume of packaging do they produce now? And leading to the question of, could they handle the volume of packaging that would be needed for Amazon? So those were just some additional data points that I was thinking could be useful in selling the case. But love the response to the question of how potentially Amazon could acquire them and get into that market, because Amazon is very big about the breadth of going into multiple industries and can certainly take that approach as well. I thought all of you did excellent in terms of your communication skills and presented very well. It was a very compelling case, and very impressed with your work. So thank you.
Jennifer, feedback from you?
Well, congratulations all on getting through that presentation. I myself participated in this competition over a decade ago. I know how much work goes into this, so congratulations. I want to echo what Monica said. I thought you did an amazing job with a very clear, concise, and simple to understand presentation. I commend you for going slowly with your presentation. It was easy to follow, and you boiled down some pretty robust, sustainability type topics into very easy to digest and understand, tidbits. So thank you for that. And then I work in marketing. I want to commend you guys for the beauty of your PowerPoint too. I thought it was very well done. And that always goes a long way, I think, in a presentation. A couple pieces of critical feedback. I would have loved to have understood a little bit more of the size of the prize in terms of making this impact. So you did a good job of setting up the fact that right now there is a lot of impact to the environment with the current packaging, but I think you could have gone one step further to say, by reducing or changing our packaging, this is the impact that we could have, so that it would really hit home to us what we could do. Because in a company like Amazon, there's a lot of different ways we can consider our environmental impact. Packaging is just one of them. So I think it would have been really nice to see why packaging in your minds was such an important piece of the puzzle. And then I do, as you guys could kind of tell from my questions, I would have loved to understand a little bit more about how you would have tackled that increased cost, because any business is not going to feel very excited about increasing costs and that's it, right? I think having suggestions or thought through how to make up that increased cost, and also thought through what this would mean to the Amazon business model in terms of their competition, for example, right? We all know Amazon competes on price with consumers. If their cost of goods go up, how do they stay competitive in the market? So I would have liked to see a little bit more there, but otherwise, like I said, very clear, concise, really great presentation. So congrats, guys, well done.
Okay, Tony, feedback?
Yeah, so again, I think y'all did a great job. I actually too, like Jennifer, I mean, I participated, but over 20 years ago. So I definitely know how it is. And it was in person, so it's a different element. So y'all are doing this in a different way because it is virtual. So it's a different experience that y'all are doing and seeing our reactions too. And again, the main point of this too is about the ethical sense of it too. And I think y'all did a good job of that. And it's about bringing out emotion out of people. And even as board member or business people, I mean, we're business people, we do care. So I think it's important, and I think it's good that you brought that out, because it's good to have that personal, touch to it too. So we want to make a difference, you bring that out. So I thought that was really good too. And then I guess the other point too, which Jennifer and I think, or Monica, I know you had the same questions too, but was just more in depth of the realistic or the reality that just one company that you're putting all your eggs in one basket could actually make this feasible in a realistic solution. So I love that there was a solution. The reality of it, I don't know. I feel like obviously we don't have numbers and things like that, which y'all only had 25 minutes, to present to us. So, we understand that. And I do want to point out, I did like that y'all's answers to our questions, y'all thought quickly and you answered quickly, and I could tell it's teamwork. So I think that says a lot, and I could see the passion in it too. So I think that was really good, because you're going to get asked questions all the time in business, and you got to be on your toes and ready to answer them. So I think y'all did a great job at that. So good job.
Okay, I guess it's my turn to go last. I have several things to say. One of them, overall, I really enjoyed your presentation. I think it was high quality. I think the idea that you each assigned yourself a speciality in connection with this analysis, you had an environment person, an ethics person, a legal person, very good technique. I had not seen that before, and I think it was terrific. You also did something that teams don't often do, that when you use arcane terms, you define them. That is also an excellent technique, because as you may have noticed, some of us are at least a generation older than you are, and we don't speak the same language with considerable overlap. So we appreciated that. Something I would like to have heard you mention and consider in your deliberations is the national critical shortage of cardboard. There is a cardboard manufacturer up in Minnesota now who is working 3 shifts a day and can't keep up with the demand. It's astonishing. And finally, an issue that I would like to have heard your views on is the size and dominance of Amazon. It is my feeling that when an entity gets so prominent in a particular economic sector, duties arise, senses of responsibility arise. I would like to have heard your views about that. But all in all, very good. Thank you very much.